What's up everyone, Darcblade here with another Hunter's Guide to Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. In this video we're going to bring you a guide to the Marionette spiders as well as the location where you can find this new endemic life in the game. Now the Marionette spiders are a very useful endemic life that you can pick up in various locations on the various maps. They look very similar to the puppet spiders, but instead of being yellow they are coloured blue and white. With these creatures, players can shoot their silk towards a monster, to which, if they're accurate, it will stick to the monster, and after, a hunter can use the attached silk to force a monster in a desired direction. This can be aimed towards obstacles, other monsters, traps and more, which can potentially topple and crowd control the monster the silk is attached to. Also, if a monster is airborne, and they have a Marionette spider silk attached to them, you can pull them out the air. Basically, it gives you a lot of creative ways to crowd control monsters while on a hunt, so the Marionette spider is incredibly useful. But there are a few caveats, of course. First of all, you need to aim the Marionette spider and then press Y or the E key if you're on PC. This will launch the silk at a monster, and unfortunately if you miss, that's it, the spider is used up unfortunately. But once you fire the silk, that's not the end of it. There is a second maneuver that you have to perform. Now you'll see a line of silk between yourself and the monster, and once you're ready, once you're standing against a obstacle, another monster, trap, whatever, press the Y or E key again and you'll yank on the silk, sending the monster flying in your direction. Should the monster collide with something, it will topple it, knocking it out for a small brief time, leaving it vulnerable to your attacks. If it doesn't hit an obstacle, it will still trip up, but it won't stay downed for long. But be warned, there are times when the silk will start to turn red. This means that the monster is breaking free of the silk bind, and this can happen in two ways. First of all, the monster can move far enough away from you that the silk breaks, or you're running out of time before the silk breaks naturally. Now each map normally contains 2 Marionette spiders, and they can be carried both at the same time, meaning that you can topple a monster multiple times during a hunt. And if you're on a hunt for long enough, they will eventually respawn, but this takes a decent amount of time. But let's move on to the next part of the video where we show you the location of all the Marionette spiders. Now there are 2 located here. The first one is located towards the east side of the map, just north of Zone 3, south of Zone 7. It's pretty standard, it's found on the floor, it's not the most difficult to miss. The other Marionette spider in the Shrine Ruins is found towards the southeast of Zone 13, so it's all the way up in the northwest. But it is a little bit tricky to get to, as it's found on top of the cliff sides, high up in the mountains. Now, as for the Frost Islands, again there are 2 of them. The first one is located almost in the centre of the map, towards the west of Area 5. Again, it's up in the hilly area, but it's on the ledge overlooking Area 5, so it's quite easy to spot. The other Marionette spider is located towards the east of Zone 9, between Zone 9 and 10 basically. This Marionette spider is found on the ground level, so it's difficult to miss. It's just hugging the mountainside as you travel between Zones 9 and 10. The next location is the Sandy Plains, and again there are 2 Marionette spiders located here. The first is located in Zone 7, in this slightly watery area. On the hill located to the northeast, the Marionette spider will be overlooking Zone 7. The next Marionette spider in the Sandy Plains is found in Zone 8. It's towards the northwest of Zone 8 as you travel to the area from Zone 12. It's found on the ground, it's not too difficult to miss. Now next up is the Flooded Forest, and there are 2 here. The first is found in Zone 1. It's actually found on the ground level as you travel between Zone 1 and Zone 10. It's simply on the ground hugging the cliffside as you make your way between Zones 1 and 10. The other Marionette spider is also quite easy to find. If you go to the additional sub-camp and head on over to Zone 6, the cliffs overlooking Zone 6 to the west of the area, the Marionette spider will be found here. Now next up is the lava caverns. The Marionette spiders in this location are a little bit tricky to get. The first one is found in Area 4, so it's the area in the southeast. This spider is quite easy to find, it's basically on top of the big tree in the area. Climb up the tree and you'll find the spider. The second Marionette spider though is slightly trickier to get to. This is found south of Zone 11 and north of Zone 10. It's underground basically. As you're travelling between 10 and 11, the Marionette spider will be found on the ground, but it does camouflage itself into the environment quite well. Now next up is the jungle, and once again there are 2 here. The first one is really easy to find. From the starting location, simply head west towards Zone 11 and you'll find the first Marionette spider on the ground as you travel. It's really difficult to miss. However, the second one is a little bit more tricky as it's found underground. The easiest way to get this is to head to Zone 7, and then you'll find a little hidden passageway, shown in the video here, to which you can drop down, head on through this tunnel, and eventually you'll find the second Marionette spider. And then finally is the Citadel. Now the first Marionette spider found in the Citadel is located south of Zone 12, but it's a little bit tricky to get to, as from Zone 12 or north of Zone 13, you'll find it high up in the mountain areas. It's actually close to one of the ruined towers. There is no real best way to get it, simply follow what I'm doing here in the video and you should be able to come across it. The second Marionette spider though is a little bit easier to get. From the second sub-camp, found north of Zone 4, as you head south from the camp, hug the cliff face to your right until you find another tower, climb this tower, and the second Marionette spider will be found atop it. Like I said though, these Marionette spiders are well worth it. They are a way to crowd control pretty much any monster in the game. Rarely is a monster completely immune to Marionette spiders. Only a few monsters become immune to the effects of them when they're performing certain actions and transforming certain phases. So whether it's a normal monster or Elder Dragon, these can be used to crowd control, leaving them open to your harder hitting combos and abilities. Another tip as well before I go is, if you're fighting in a starburst bug area, which are the little jellyfish kind of creatures attached to the walls, normally that means that there is a Marionette spider close by, as the Marionette spiders can be used to throw a monster into these starburst bugs to deal additional elemental damage. But that about wraps it up for the Marionette spiders. Hopefully you found it useful, and until next time, I've been Darcblade, bringing you another Hunter's Guide to Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.